Hello, everybody. Welcome
Hi,
to our
everyone.
webinar today. Hey. uh, we were joined by our friends from Site Search today, who are going to give us an overview of the integration that we've recently launched within our App Store and answer any questions that you guys have. So we're super excited to get into this and kind of show you guys the power of this tool and the integration today. Alyssa, if you'd like to go to the next slide here. Just a quick
Sure.
round of introductions for us. One, I'm Russ Jeffrey. I'm the Director of Strategic Integrations at Duda. I've done a lot of these webinars in the past, so some of you guys might know me. And I'm very happy to introduce our friends from Site Search. Alyssa, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Alessia, and I do a lot of things at Touch 360, but I guess search excellence lead is what describes me in a good way. Making sure that the search works as expected, that we hear what our customers have to say, and that we keep improving our service and product. So I'm ready to tell you more about it.
Great, thank you. Let's jump into our agenda. So today what we have planned, guys, is one is we just want to give you guys a quick overview of who Site Search is, give you a little bit of the benefits about Site Search in general, and also why it's important for agencies to have this tool at their fingertips. And then really the bulk of what we'll be doing today is giving a demo and showing an overview and showing some different use cases and the power of Site Search directly. We will also at the end have time for questions. So if you have questions throughout the webinar, please go ahead and ask those. There are a few folks on the line from Duda who can either answer immediately or we'll save it for the end and answer it during the Q&A session once we get to the end of the demo. So we'll have plenty of time available for questions. So don't hesitate or don't be afraid to ask questions there. Just a normal housekeeping kind of note, we are recording this and we will be sending out the recording after. So if you have to leave early, please just know that you will get a copy of this webinar that you can refer back to at a later point as well. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and hand this off to Alyssa. She's gonna jump in on some of our content and give a demo here.
Yep, well, thank you. We are Site Search 360, and actually the actual official company name is Zemnox, which stands for Semantic Knowledge Extraction. So actually we have a lot of experience in, all things search, more than 6. And the idea is that search doesn't have to be super complicated, while still, being good and not be limited to just a few default things. Like sometimes the platforms would have it ready for you, like some built-in search, which would have its limitations. So we are expanding on that and offering search as a service, site search as a service for sites of all sizes, all types of content. And yeah, we are based in Dresden. Although I'm currently connecting from Moscow. The team is quite international, so yeah, we have people here and there. And well, we go to the next slide. I guess I'll just jump right into why search. I'm pretty sure that the Duda customers have survived without a real search app until we showed up. So why start? Why add a search? Why add our app? Well, the truth is, oops, and I jumped, that people are so used to searching. According to some recent research, 98% of all internet users search. They search every month. That means all internet users, all devices, everyone knows what it is, expects to have that, not only for Google, but also when they arrive on your website, and you can have a clear navigation and everything. But as your site keeps growing and you keep adding pages, there are only so many pages you can add to your site menu. So obviously certain things get hidden. That means people take longer to get to those pages, those products, or just content pages. So a search is definitely a shorter path, right? It saves time for your customers. what we do is actually show a unified view, right? So like you could have, before you had like search that would only go through blog posts or only go through products. But what we actually do is combine all of them in a unified search interface. So your customers don't have to think if they started their search journey from the right page. And of course, things get enhanced with auto suggestions, popular queries, search history, all these things with little UX, right? User experience hacks that just really help people get to the results they expect to get faster. And then another thing is site search is a great source of information for the site owners or agencies who develop those websites, because Google has been hiding the search data, the search query data, and so it's become harder and harder to really know the exact words that bring your customers to your site. But once they're on your site, they're still ready to type and share this information, their search intents with you, and it's an invaluable source of data. It's like it shows you what they're interested in, what they expect to find, what they don't find. So how you can expand on the content that already exists, how you can improve it. So your search is under your control. You can fine tune it. You can really direct them to the pages you want them to land on. And I will show you how it can actually be achieved with Site Search 360 later on. I guess I've already basically covered these things. It's just another recap of how things just get merged into one search interface, right? All results are, it's the first tab by default, but then if you have products, we'll show a product tab. If you have a blog, we'll show a blog tab. It's also possible to show like FAQs and documents, or any tab you want. And I will also get to the categorization during the demo in a sec. So,
yeah,
YouTube videos, by the way.
Yeah. For a second. One of the great things about site search, and longtime Duda customers will know this, is we don't have a full site search, right? We have a blog search and we have an e-commerce search, but it's nothing across the entire website. So even if you have some of these larger sites that use dynamic pages or multi-language or different features within Duda, site search does the entire content and every single page of the site itself. So this is one of the reasons Duda was really excited about working with site search. Is this solves a problem that we hear a lot from our customers and kind of a pain point of our existing solution. So just to call that out, I think it's important to highlight as part of the integration. So
thanks. Yeah. And if we go back to some more benefits that Site Search 360 can offer, is obviously native Duda's app and widget allows you to literally drag and drop our search and quickly customize the design, and it's smooth, and we instantly connect to your site's database, sitemap to be specific. So we can update the results instantly, and it just works out of the box, right? We do have a JavaScript integration, and we actually have a few Duda customers who use that outside of the Duda app, because it's rather new, right? And we already had that customers before. Hi, Brian. By the way, he said he'd recommended us to Duda before we actually released the app. So, and what I'm saying is that now it's super easy. It's super straightforward. You just install the app, and I'll also show that in a second. Well, as I said, search analytics are a gold mine of information. So you can go into the dashboard and see what people typed because they expected this information to be on your site somewhere. So, and you can see if it's a frequent query, that maybe there's some content for you to add, or maybe add a synonym, so that you just you're already covering this topic, but your searchers just don't use the same language as you do. So there's a way to connect those things, basically add those custom synonyms and virtually enrich your site content for the search.
And
And yeah,
yeah, one more thing I want to jump in on there. This is actually something that we recommend from the Duda side of cover this with your clients. Pull up this list in front of them and show it to them and say, hey, these are what people are searching for on your website. Did you know that customers are looking for this? It's A, like valuable information for your clients, but B, it's also valuable information of just understanding what people are looking for on the website directly, and should give you ideas for more content or different types of pages or different questions you need to answer about the business or about kind of the site itself. So we really do think this kind of like the search data that comes back there is just, it's more valuable than even just having a search component. It gives you just all this context about why people are coming to the site and what they're looking for.
yeah. And again, I'll go back to it during the demo. Just a few things before we start with the demo. I just wanted to emphasize the fact that the widget and Site Search 60 is both mobile ready and accessibility conscious. That means that you can add the widget to both the tablet and the mobile view of your site. Accessibility means well, also like your search will be usable with all types of screen readers. And yeah, all of us can sometimes use a little voice search, for example, because we have hands wet or dirty or busy with something. So we do also offer a voice search functionality, yeah, for browsers that support that. And since we offer search as a service, we do really look out for our service to be fast and available around the clock. So we have a few data centers spread out around the world. So it creates redundancy. We use Cloudflare as a global load balancer, so it connects your searcher to the closest server, right? So that it speeds up the results for your users. And yeah, well, I don't know if the Duda team was probably going to share this presentation as well, but here's a link to our online monitor where you can always check on our service status. Currently, it's very green, and it usually is. So, and one more thing, right? I think I mentioned that already, but the Duda integration allows us to really instantly update your search results every time you republish the site, right? So like you add new pages, the only thing you need to do to get them searchable is click on the republish your site. And without further ado, we could maybe look at this one. So that republish button that you probably know very well. But here's just a demo site, a test site. It doesn't have our app ready. I just wanted to really start from scratch, just to show you the process. Maybe you've already tried that. Maybe it's all new for you. So yeah, well, you'll probably have to search for us because that won't be the only app available. But once you find Site Search 360 and choose a plan, right, we'll have 3, and we'll also talk about that closer to the end of the webinar. So then we install it, and it automatically opens our control panel, right? The Site Search 360 control panel. And well, while this is a very powerful thing with all the settings, all the fine tunings that you can do that will be happening here, what you actually need in the first place is the search bar, right? Is the actual widget. So if we go to widget and look for Site Search 360, and then we just kind of drag and drop it, let's say here, you have a search box. Then you can basically hover over and like adjust the size, or maybe you want to show a different, like actually I want to show a search button with the text on it rather than an icon. And you can choose the language of your search interface as well as the voice search. And there we go, there's the voice icon. Connect to your Google Analytics. And then if you go into the design, Well, the width is already actually the full width for the available container. So I'll just leave it there, but you could add a little space between, yeah, and a bunch of other things like the icon colors and the button colors. The background color for the search button is an interesting thing because it actually does more than just the button. It kind of sets the color of your search theme. So, well, we can also try. And because we've already indexed your site, right? It's a published site, that's important to note. There's no way to really index a site that's not published because our crawler just, well, can't reach your pages otherwise. So like once it's published, it's all good and it works really fast. So here are the results already. We can see that we broke them down into all results and blog because there's some blog posts. And these are just like site pages. Yeah, and so what I started saying with the search theme is you all can also see that the titles got the same color, so it kind of already looks nice and fitting to your site style. And so what I wanted to show you is to actually go a little deeper. Oh, right, let's actually see it on the real site. So, well, let me republish. And also update here. Okay. Just once again. All right, color. There we go. So these are the live results that you can see. And as you can see, some of the pages don't have an image. Well, to be honest, they do have an image, but that is the white colorful logo that we pull up by default. But you might also want to actually customize the image for your results, and I'll show you how you can do that. So we go back to App Store. We open Site 360's control panel. And well, actually, sorry, before we do that, we need to actually choose the image. So I think the one I wanted to change was color consultation, right? Yeah, there we go. So I don't want it white or blank. So I'll just go under SEO, right? Search engine optimization, in this case, just a quick note on the side, Site Search 360 is not like an SEO service, right? Directly, but improving the interactivity, right? Your user experience on your site through the search does send Google a positive signal, but by itself, of course, we don't have, like, just by installing Site Search 360 on your site, it doesn't mean that your site is going to go higher up in the ranking. It's just sometimes we get users who get confused about these two things, so I just wanted to have a quick comment on that. And in this case, we also use open graph tags, which are what you see when you share a link not on social networks only, but like in a messenger, like the preview image that gets pulled with the link. That's what we also use for the search results. Well, we can. It's not the only thing we use, but that's probably one of the easiest things to set up. So if I just go and select, for example, this one looks good for the color consultation. Well, yeah, and then close, republish. And try it again. Right, well, could have just tried, yeah. This thing is actually supposed to make your life easier, right? You'll just, before you start typing, you get search box in focus and you already have your search history, so you don't have to type. But there we go, the new image is here. And maybe Russ would help correct me if I'm wrong, but there's also a way to automate this image process, because as far as I see, there's a connect to data, right? And then you can probably connect it to a library and not do it per page, so it will be faster.
Yeah, we do have that capability. It depends on what images you want to use. If you want to connect this to something that exists within the content library, you can connect it to an image. Where that's particularly useful is with dynamic pages, where you're creating 10, 15, 20 pages of a website based off of just a CSV. And a lot of times people will have just one field in that CSV that is the opening graph tag, so you can connect it and automate all of that setup. So absolutely, and that'll just pass on through right to site search, so you guys crawl it and you find it, and you get all of that information. So absolutely.
Yeah. So and yeah, the dynamic pages do work out of the box, right? Because we just find them in the sitemap, and yeah, and then they're automatically up in the results. I wanted to show a couple more examples how you can adjust like a few more things, like titles. Well, like let me actually, go back to the app and maybe guide you through a few settings that we have, and just like to help you get more familiar with our control panel interface in general. So this is your dashboard with some search analytics, which I will also cover a bit later. But all the controls, the important controls, are really I'd say in the crawler settings and in the index control sections. Because if you scroll down here, you see whitelist and blacklist options, which means you can whitelist any URL pattern. For example, I know that the so you would say just, okay, I want all the important pages. Can you guys still hear me?
I think we lost you for a second there, but we can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let me just quickly switch. Just so that
Yeah, no problem. So what Alyssa was saying here is you can have kind of maybe a URL structure within your website of pages that you really want to be indexed. So you'd whitelist those pages, and like she's showing here is you'd have this important URL kind of folder structure that would exist, and those are our pages that we really want to whitelist. And the kind of the reverse thinking is you can also do this for blacklisting, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's updated again. So the example I was gonna show is, okay, we also pull up the contact us page, right? But in this case, the contact us is it's like already a pretty obvious element. And so maybe you don't really think it's necessary to have that page in your search results. And you just add either the full URL or even just part of it, because it can be a URL pattern, right? Everything that contains contact us from now on, after we save and reindex, right? Because republishing basically triggers a reindexing, but whenever you change things inside of Search 360, you do need basically a republish, right? A reindex for your search results. So now, yeah, now that page is gone. Well, again, it was just an example, so I personally would keep that. Or even another thing you could do, and now we are getting into like more of a search, fine-tuning your search journeys or your customer search journeys. If we go to query mapping, which is kind of a technical term for like a result manager, basically. And the idea is if someone types contact, and you can say like, okay, whenever it's part of the phrase, right? Contact us, contact information, contact whatever, phone. Then what I want to do is actually redirect to this contact us page, because that's probably what people are looking for, right? And so if you save and test it. In this case, the updates are immediate. It's really, yeah, one sec. So let's update it, make sure, there we go. Contact us. Oh, okay, I did blacklist that page. Okay, let me try another one. Yeah, let's do about us for the demonstration purposes.
That makes sense. It doesn't return any results.
Yeah, but yeah, if we just do it here. There we go. So that was basically a shortcut, right? You didn't see the result layover. You were immediately redirected to the About Us page. And we actually show that this this was on the search term contact. So yeah. So the search result, yeah.
I was just going to say a great use case for this is like if you have like a booking tool or an appointment that you want somebody to submit, and somebody says like, you know, maybe it's schedule or maybe it's appointment or maybe some of these keywords that you think people might be searching for, you can set that up ahead of time and say, hey, let's just go directly to that page, directly to that piece of content, and skip the rest and skip that selection. Yeah.
And so for like to keep going with the tweaks, you can also really control what titles you get and what images you get. And I can show you another real life example. This is actually a real Duda customer and Search360 customer who uses our app and widget on their site right here. And so what I noticed is that let's do Kingston. A few of the pages, I think from the team, and these were actually dynamic pages. So I guess with dynamic pages, you always want to look out there that if like and customize that, because you see that it shows as about, the title is about, but the actual page title is in this case Trisha. And the way we get the about part is actually from the page title. So I just have this extension that helps me look at, well, analyze the content, the page content faster. And so that means that the page has a title, the page title is about, and because by default, we take the H1, right, the main heading, which is not present on the page. And the second thing we look for is the page title. And well, it seems a rather legit page title, so we use it, but you probably want to still stick to the actual name in this case, and you can totally customize that. So you would either just you know, inspect the code, or you already know from your Duda site that it's an H2, right? An H2 heading. So that means you can use not H2, not the page title, the H1, not the page title, but the H2, and then it gets us to the content we want. So if I go back to the control panel and indexing control, crawler settings, scroll down to the title. So I see the title is already used, but what I could do is actually set up a content group where I'd say, okay, I want all my team pages to be a separate thing. And the condition would be, I think it says, meet the team, right? So I have all my team pages with this URL pattern that says meet the team. And for all the meet the team pages, the title should be using the second heading. Well, I mean, the other way would be actually fixing the page title, right? In this case would also make sense. But what I'm showing that.
Yeah, they could have done that with the connected data feature we showed a few minutes ago and connected the title up. They just hadn't connected the title to the same field.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, But this is also a good example to show that you really have this fine-grained control over all the search elements. And so now after I click save and reindex the site, we'll see what happens in a second. And that's how you can really create those quick tabs, right? Like how I was showing it with a colorful website. You have all results, blog, and other. And I think this customer, the site didn't have any tabs yet. But now that we've added the team, we automatically show those tabs that you can easily click through, and you really have other things that you see fit. And and then you actually see that the page titles got all fixed.
That's great. Alyssa, one question from my side here. I think as part of the integration, we have 2 of these default groupings. Is that correct?
Yes, we do blog and products, and
That's
then basically everything else gets pulled under other, because usually they're just website pages like, I don't know, contact us, about us, shipping, yeah. But you really can, I mean, the more sort of variety you have in terms of pages, then the more groups would make sense. And yeah, and actually, I think every Duda customer would see some default conditions. So like if you don't have a blog, but you are thinking you're planning on adding it, then once you add it and republish, we'll automatically show that group for you. So, and here, besides the title, we also have the same things for images, right? Like if you know, okay, like I always, I mean, I don't know how deep in the code the Duda customers get, but like if you, for example, define like a, yeah, I think you wanted to say something, sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, you know, most of our customers don't go too deep. Some do dive in, but you know, a lot of our customers can figure out, you know, what is the primary image and kind of be able to add that. So I think it's a relevant example. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So like if you know that, well, I think by default we look for this item prop tag image, right? And that's the image we use. But if you feel like that doesn't really apply to your site structure, you can just either just change it or add a few more, because we will go and try to find, like, to see if anything matches every single condition you put. Like you see that you have sometimes a few here. Another question that came up actually is, how do I deactivate the images entirely? And that's also possible. You would go to crawler settings and scroll down again, and you see this extract images, yes, no toggle, right? Well, I won't do it right now, but once you stop extracting images and reindex, basically all the images get collapsed, and the image containers get collapsed, and then you won't see them anymore. And another cool thing I wanted to show you, actually, also if another Duda customer allows us, I hope, to use that great FAQ page example, because that's a separate feature that we support. And if you have this type of pages with, you know, they can get rather long, and you have those accordions or just sort of question answer structure, then we have a thing for you that's called FAQ extraction. So let me just refresh. I hope I'm still in the right account.
No, you're in the old one.
I'm in the old one. Okay. Then maybe I'll go back to that example. Well, it's actually already set up. So yeah, how about I just show it here, and yeah, never mind. So the point is, if I'm, you know, looking for, I don't know, temperature requirements, right? Now that I've set it up and we extract every single question and answer a separate result, I can really go to the specific Q&A, and it will highlight the question for me and expand the answer. And so, you know, you don't have to yeah, you don't have to look for it on the page. It doesn't, open. Usually what happens, like when you land on this page from Google, right, it will just open it from the top, and then you have to really like expand on things and try to to look for the right snippet, but not in this case. And the way it's set up, it would be here. Right, so I'm not in the correct account, but I can quickly show what that would look like. So we would take the FAQ page URL. We would take the question path. And well, I mean, we have a tutorial in our documentation for this, but this is a great extension that we recommend installing if you are planning on, working with those XPaths and like getting really deep in the search customization. But basically, we're just looking to point the crawler to first the questions, right? And we see there are 14 of them, so that looks correct. All of them are highlighted. So we'll add that to the questions XPath. And then we're also looking to have a matching number of answers. So we'll just hover over with this extension and see, okay, so like there's also accordion. I think there's accordion description, and there are all these paragraphs that we have. Okay, and now we also have 14 of them. They're also highlighted once you expand. So we'll click and add and try to test. Well, right, it didn't get exactly, but as you can see from this quick demo, right? So what was that? Creo, something I can use to search with. Yeah. Right, like heat load, some high-tech stuff here. There we go. So can I adjust see how like we pull the question directly into the title? And yeah, and you click and you're scrolled to the right thing again. There we go. So you can also then create a separate group for them and just say like, okay, the condition for this group, for this new tab would be Site Search 360 search term, because that's the unique identifier we use, and that it would have a separate FAQ tab, which could also be helpful for your users. So I won't save any settings. And yeah, same categorization could be recommended. Actually, I'm about to jump into the analytics. Russ, would you like to maybe share some, well, give some comments already, or maybe if there are any questions so far, maybe we can take a quick break.
No, let's jump into the analytics, and then let's jump back and talk a little bit about kind of some of the future plans that we have.
All right. Okay. So then, if we go into the analytics view, so we obviously have the dashboard. You have like a chart for your queries, and if we scroll down, we get to just the last 20, just for you to show what's happening. By the way, whatever you try out here doesn't get logged. It's like your safe testing environment, right? So once you connect, once you open the app, like I am here within the Duda interface, I'm in my test account, Site Search 360. So whatever I type here doesn't get logged. And obviously this doesn't take away from your search query limit, and just allows you to, so these were from the actual live site, and if I type something weird right now, then it won't get logged. So if we're back to, yeah, let me just close out of the other things. If we're back here and we have a couple of views, a couple of tables, we are also working on kind of refreshing this, and more on that later. But the main things are, you do already see queries that are coming from your users. You do see how often something gets typed. You can, well, first of all, you can say like, okay, I'm interested in the last 30 days. And Kingwood seems to be the most popular one here. And then some people go for, I guess a specific zip code, and you can check if you actually have the results for the specific zip code. Well, you can say, okay, count and then results. When you have a dash like that, that means that this was a search suggestion selected, right? Like see those 3 in the drop down. These are search suggestions, right? That we show on the fly, and that means that the yeah, one of them was selected. But if we go to the actual 0 results, okay, there we go. So Magnolia apparently prompted 0 things. We did not find any Magnolia matches on your site. So for the owner of the website is an indicator. Okay, so do I know what like should they find something for Magnolia or for this very specific number? Do I know what this number actually means? Like maybe or for this zip code, maybe I could, you know, maybe I have something, maybe I shouldn't show anything, right? Because I just don't have any property available for the zip code. Or maybe in some other cases, like with this cryogenic equipment, what I saw in the analytics is that there are a few very specific product numbers, and maybe you still want to show that, like for example, the product number from the series, like not the exact product numbers if you don't have it, the product for this product number, but from the like 77 series, you still have something. So in that case, you can go and say like, okay, I mean, every well, product number, well, why not? So like 77219, it's also just something I was checking earlier, actually is okay. Like, well, series that means like series 777, and then I can add those two. I could also go with like a few, again, like if you're if you know regular expressions, you could use like not specific words, but you know, some patterns instead. But you could also really use that for real words, you know. So I guess Magnolia example, I don't know, might mean like, I don't know, Flower Road, or it's totally out of the, you know, off the top of my head. But if you have something for Flower Road and you know that Magnolia, someone looking for Magnolia would actually benefit from seeing the results for Flower Road, you just add this in, you re-index the site, and then all the pages mentioning Flower Road would also show up for the Magnolia search. So that's what I was saying when you can enrich your site content with those virtual synonyms without even going and, you know, actually adding those words to your site pages, because sometimes it's not necessary, or sometimes you do want to go and add a new page of content because you saw that in the analytics that was like searched for a lot. So it's, I guess you kind of go and review that case by case. It's also possible to see what links got clicked, right? So for the Lake Houston Parkway, some customers clicked on this commercial property and some other people on this one. And yeah, half and half almost. So just getting a little stuck with the interface today for some reason. Maybe my computer is handling too many things at a time. The demo, the pressure, the attention, everything gets
sharing
a
your
little
webcam, yeah, all of it, yeah.
Yep. All right. Okay, yeah, it does look like my Chrome got a little frozen. Would you like to take over for the demonstration, or we'll just wait a little moment?
Yeah, I can
I think we're back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me just yeah, well, as always, right? That only happens during the live demo.
Of course it does. If you'd like, I can jump in and start sharing my screen.
Yeah, I think that would be great, because then I could just wait for things to.
Yeah. So I'm going to make myself presenter. Wonderful. Great. Shall we jump onto the roadmap? Was that what was next here?
Yeah, I was basically, I had a few more examples for the analytics, but I think I'm covered most of it. So
Okay.
we can discuss the upcoming features.
Great.
I think that could be the next logical step. So, right, I mean, that would also be more of a question to you, our viewers.
Yep.
What are your priorities, right? So we have a few things on our roadmap, things being, obviously we do already support PDF, doc, other types of files indexing. It's just that with the current Duda integration, they are not added, those documents don't get added to your search results, but that's something we will be adding in the future. We are also, we already looked into the link data parsing, which, the schema.org. I think a good example would be, I don't know if Russ, you want to pull your e-commerce search and actually show that, we would see that, okay, this is a product page. So, and like, for example, this is a category page. And as long as we have that information on the page somewhere, we can also adjust the automatic categorization for the different types of pages.
Yeah, that's right. Like with our e-commerce product that you can see here, we put in schema, we put the price. And so we're also using site searches, basically categorization option to say, hey, extract the price from that structured schema data and show the price directly in the search results. And so that's what you're seeing here with that search. And that's what's being referenced.
Yeah, and so we would like the more data you have, and then also the more we support that, we'll be able to even show more data points or facets, like your article number, or for blog articles, I know the publication date. That's already possible. Just might be even easier with the link data.
That's right.
So if we go now to thanks. As I mentioned quickly, the search interface for the Site Search 360 control panel will get like a makeover, and I guess we might even have a new webinar to just walk you through the changes. But just so you know, that's coming up. So don't get too used to the current view. It's about to get better. And another potential use case would be for additional domains and subdomains, right? So like we talked about uniting different types of content, site pages, products, YouTube videos, which is also possible. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But maybe you just have a subdomain or a few of them that you want to unify under one search. That would also be possible with Site Search 360 in the future.
Yeah, so just a question on this one from me. For additional subdomains, that could be like, great, maybe I'm using a store outside of Duda, and I want to index that, shop.example.com domain, right? Something like that, right? Would that also mean like maybe I could do it to index like my Twitter feed? Would that work or no? Like, could I put it in a Twitter page and have that be indexed?
Well, by default, we do, I think, just skip the Twitter, Facebook things for now. But that's actually a good idea for just, not only offer YouTube channel videos, but more social data. So I guess that we could also add that on the roadmap. And if you are interested, if you would like your Twitter feed to be part of your search, please make a sign so that we know it's useful, it's needed, and we'll prioritize it. And
interesting. Yeah, I don't know if people would actually want that. It's just an idea I had. Yeah.
It actually correlates to something I've been researching just for the webinar and in general, is that how search becomes like choosing products specifically becomes more and more social, right? So like there's like you go to the website, but you also want this social confirmation that this is the right product for you. And if you among your product results also show like oh no, these guys are great. I mean, that would only be an incentive to buy, for example.
Got it.
And would you like to switch to the next? I think we just haven't covered the plans.
Yeah, I can cover this if you'd like. Yeah. So just, one question we always get for these webinars is what is the pricing and kind of what is the payment structure? So we just wanted to highlight here, there's 3 different plans that we have. One is a free plan, which is up to 10 pages indexed, and you can see 1,000 queries or searches per month. We do the Colombo plan, which we think fits most Duda customers, is up to 200 pages and 5,000. The one big benefit you get is you get the removal of the site search branding from these pages. So with the free plan, you will have a little site search logo. I think it's right below the search box. That'll be shown. But if you upgrade to the Colombo, that'll be removed as well. Even if you go to site search directly, the branding is shown on the Colombo plan. So this is a big benefit that site search extended through to Duda and our customers, just because we know that a lot of our customers wouldn't want to have that branding there on top of the website. And then the final package is just the homes. And we really think that the primary use case for this is e-commerce and maybe some sites that have larger blogs on them. But you can see it's still a reasonable $30 a month to index up to 15,000 different pages within the website as well. And that does add the YouTube indexing as well, which is that extra layer on top. So.
And that's a lot of pages because usually we have that quota for at least 99 a month. So again, super special deal with the Duda integration.
Yeah. Great. Shall we jump into some questions here?
Yeah, I'm all ears.
Great, let's do it. So a question that came in a little while ago is how long does it take to crawl the site prior to the search being available on top of the website? What would you say is like the average amount of time?
Seconds? I mean, okay, it depends on the size of the website. So if there are like a few hundred pages, then it would probably be a matter of minutes. But with the updates, I mean, you already saw like the image that we changed for this painting or color selection page. I mean, okay, it only had 10 pages, but that was available instantly. So the sitemap indexing approach is is what we always recommend, basically, because when there's a sitemap, it's essentially a map, right, of places for the crawler to go. And so there's no like double guessing if we're going to find a new link here on this page or on that page. It's very straightforward. We just go and index whatever is in your sitemap, and not whitelisted or blacklisted, right? Like we do check all these conditions before. And yeah, it should work within minutes max. And well, with the 15,000 pages, it might take a few hours, but
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, from my experience, I've done a lot of testing and a lot of playing around with site search. Any site that's less than 20 pages was done, in under 10 seconds. It was before I could even get to the site and even start searching. So for smaller sites, it was very quick from my view. Yeah. Great. Let's jump on to the next question here. Can we please explain the PDF settings? One thing you mentioned is that with the Duda integration today, we don't have the PDF indexing. Is that something that can be worked around manually by adding PDFs, or no, it just doesn't work today?
It doesn't work at this very day, this very moment. It is possible, again, with our new control panel that we are just sort of finalizing the UI for, and it's like internal testing. So it's ready, it's there, it works, because we'll even have a feature like just upload a list of URLs, which could be a list of your PDFs, and we'll add them to whatever needs to be indexed. So you don't even have to build any like a sitemap outside of the somewhere outside of your site, or use like another service. It will literally be super easy, and we'll combine all these different like indexing methods, but it's just not something that our current UI allows. And adding that feature would be a little painful. So just please be patient, wait for the new control panel to be released, and that will be totally doable there.
Great. Cool. Next question is, Barbara is asking, can you limit searches between certain dates? So she's referencing here, like maybe you have a blog and you want to limit the search for content that was posted, maybe in the last 6 months or between, or maybe only in 2019 or something like that. Do you have any type of limitations that you can put on?
Yeah, that could be, basically would just go with the XPath, right? Like we'll target that date. And for example, we can say, we can like add this, like anything that is not 2020, like everything that's 2019, we can just no index, right? So that will be an indication that if a page has the date that contains the year 2019, we just skip, right? Yeah, no, that is possible. It does get a little more technical, so just feel free to send us an email, and then we'll look into setting this up for you.
Great. Yeah, that would just be, though, just so I understand, that would be like saying, great, site search won't return any results from 2019, but we will from 2020.
Exactly.
There's not like a date selection that people can say, great, I want to filter between X dates, right?
No, not at the moment, but that could also be a feature for us to discuss internally.
Sure. Sure.
We do have, we use dates for sorting, right? So the one thing that you could do is just show newest first or oldest first, whatever is more appropriate for the content. And that would be under the content group's data point setup, right? So data points is what price, like Russ showed on his e-commerce demo store. That is a data point. Then date would be another data point that we just grab from your site separately. And then we can do all sorts of things with it, right? So like we can actually say, okay, I want to sort by newest first. So we automatically have a ranking of all your site posts just by date, right? So that would be a timestamp if we want to go into the technicalities. And yeah, and then just have that automatic sorting. Yeah, you could switch actually between relevance, right? So search result relevance is still by default the default method that we rank the results, but you can switch. You can say, oh no, I want newest first all the time, and that will be my default view.
Great. It looks like we're running out of questions here, and we're also coming up on the hour. So I just want to say, Olesa, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for putting this together. I think it's really informational and been really helpful. Pablo is saying, great tool, guys. Looks like he's excited about it. So again, thank you so much, and I appreciate your willingness to come and join and give us some information on this.
Of course, yeah. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you. Well, actually, a big shout out to the Duda team, because the app was made possible with a lot of your help, right? And you had to make some adjustments as well. So yeah, I sure hope you guys can spread the word and share this webinar if you think it was useful. And yeah, let's keep in touch. Site Search 360 team is available at mail@sitesearch360.com. This is our primary point of contact. So if you have any questions, if you need help with those XPaths, if that sounds too scary to you, don't worry. We are there to help. So just send us an email.
Wonderful, wonderful. And thank you everyone for joining and listening, and hope everyone has a good afternoon here.
Yeah, have a good rest of your day, guys.
All right.
Bye.